Hello, my name is Edith Carell. I am your hostess for the Vintage Whitby series called Ask the Pioneer. In this series, we answer your questions about the history of our fine town. Today's question comes from a Whitby resident who asks, I live in the Whitby Shores subdivision in South Whitby. Can you tell me about the history of this area?
Thank you, Edith. To answer the question, the lands comprising of the Whitby Shores subdivision were originally owned by several farmers who began farming the lands in the early 1800s. The largest of these farms was purchased by William Gordon in 1838. In 1855, William built a brick house on his property, named Bayside, just to the west of Whitby Harbour. In 1888, the property was purchased by John Smith. Here you can see the Smith family posing in front of the house in 1896. In the summer of 1901, John built a barn north of his home on the site where the Ontario Hospital nurses' residence was later located. This picture shows the framework of the barn in the early stages of construction, and then when it was finally completed. In 1912, the property and the surrounding farms were purchased by the provincial government to build the Ontario Hospital, later known as Ontario Shores Centre for Mental Health Sciences. Since the hospital complex was built on pre-existing farms, much of the fertile land was salvaged and its crops were used during the construction period to feed workers, administrative officers, patients, and doctors. Upon completion of the facility, the farm was operated by doctors and patients and it provided all the milk, meat, and vegetables necessary to sustain the hospital. The farm continued in operation until 1969 and tending the farm was considered therapy for many patients. Included as one of the farm buildings was a large barn that was built in 1919. The barn remained until 1976, when it burned down in a massive fire. By the 1980s, many of the original hospital buildings were deteriorating, and some were closed for safety reasons. Plans were made to build a modern hospital, and to sell much of the land to build the future Whitby Shores subdivision. In preparation for the building of the subdivision, an archaeological study of the area was conducted. Excavations revealed that a large indigenous village, dating back several hundred years, was once located on the site. Finally, in the 1990s, construction of the present-day Whitby Shores subdivision began.
Thank you, William, for that interesting answer and story. And thank you, audience, for watching our first episode of Ask the Pioneer. We look forward to hearing from you with your historical questions. See you next time.